Welcome to Attenuation, a weekly podcast where two friends come together to drink beer, discuss beer styles and trends, and just generally ruminate on the meaning of life, aka beer. If you enjoy your time with us, we invite you to become a weekly listener and subscribe to the podcast. Without further ado, here is this week's episode.
Hello, and welcome to a special edition of Attenuation, a beer podcast. My name is Jason, and I'm joined by my best friend since 8th grade, Steven.
Hello.
Hello, sir. It's been a full year.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? Time has come again.
I feel like we did this like yesterday.
Yeah, it does not seem very long ago. So time flies, man, especially when you get old.
I guess so. Well, we're here for our second Thanksgiving toast.
Yep, and again, we are going to be drinking this year's vintage of Atrial Rubicite from Jester King Brewing in Austin, Texas.
Yes, This was specially delivered to me. Compliments of Steven's family.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, my wife and kids were out your way.
Yes.
So they brought it to you. I forgot about that.
Yeah, you sent them with a
perfect.
drop-off mission. Yeah. And I was happy to get this beer.
Oh, I sent you the cherry one too, huh? At the same time.
Yes, and I drank that one.
I still need to drink mine. I haven't had it yet.
A cherry beer doesn't last long in my possessions, Steven.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But yeah,
I know we got to get you some new Glarus.
Yes, that's on my white whale list. And we're going to have some more white whale updates today.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that.
I'm having a very good day.
Yeah, I literally was like thinking about this beer. I just kept going to my fridge and opening it and looking and making sure it was still there. I don't know where it was going to go, but.
Well, I dutifully, there was a few days I looked longingly at it and I was like, no, I have to save it for.
Yeah, I have to wait.
All right, well, we've been good. Should we imbibe?
Let's do it.
All right.
No cork or wax on this one, but.
That's true. Glass bottle, so it has one of the three elements of a fancy beer.
I think this one officially counts, though.
This is definitely fancy beer. I forgot how intense the color of this is.
What's funny is that, like, in pictures and stuff, because the way the bottle is shaped, it looks like it's going to be like a 750 milliliter bottle, like a big wine-sized bottle, but it's not. It's kind of like a shorter, stoutier version.
Oh, you're right. It totally looks like it would be.
Yeah, it's only just a little over 16 ounces. It's like 17 ounces. So, anyway, it's funny because you pay, I can't remember how much this is, $25 or something, and you're like, oh, the bottle's small.
Yeah.
But I'm going to talk a little bit about this beer as we taste it and stuff, and you'll kind of see why it costs $25 and why it could cost a lot more. So, all right. Ooh.
This is fun because we both have the same beer.
Never happens. Oh, it's jammy this year.
Yeah, definitely. It's like a trifecta of fresh raspberry, raspberry jam, and raspberry pie, if you can believe it. I like distinctly smell all three of those things.
Yeah, a little bit of like lemony hay in the background. Maybe like almost like a darker fruit than the raspberry, like a currant.
Yes, like black currant Concord grape almost.
Yeah.
And then I swear I get vanilla, but I could be imagining it.
I could just smell this one.
I know, right?
It smells so good.
All right, cheers, sir. Oh, we're supposed to say what we're thankful for, right?
Thankful for Atrial Rubicite. Okay, yeah. You want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's been kind of a crazy year, but just thankful for my family, my wife, who is a big supporter of the podcast, and she puts up with all the time and energy I put into not only recording and editing and stuff, but all the Instagram, She suffers through me taking pictures of every beer I drink, and I have to take a picture with the glass of beer, and then I have to split it between the two glasses. So it's a whole process. So she's just a trooper, and she supports me. So thankful for her, thankful for my kids and friends like Jason, who this is a dream just because we've been friends for a long time. And of course, there's like been years where we didn't get to see each other very much or whatever, but it's been pretty cool seeing you almost every week. So getting to talk to you, catch up with you, keep up with you. So cheers.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. I'm going to put you at the top of my list after those compliments. Well, what I was going to say is kind of funny because we have been friends for a super long time, but I feel like our interests never fully overlapped. We were definitely good friends. And I guess there was like music and stuff like that, but I feel like now we have the same level of fanaticism for the same hobby, because you were like a little bit more into sports and Steven was way cooler than I was. I was a weird nerd that liked video games, but now we're both equally weird about beer. So I feel like we finally found that hobby we can just super nerd out with each other about. So I'm really thankful for that. And yeah, it's been great seeing you. We kind of started the podcast. It's been a while now, but I'm glad we've been pretty dutifully recording every week. So that's been really nice. And then, yeah, I'm just thankful for family. I have a baby on the way, so that's very exciting.
Oh my gosh, it's podcast official now?
Yes. So yeah, that'll be a big change. Hopefully it doesn't interrupt our recording schedule too much.
My wife keeps saying, like, what happens when the baby comes? I'm like,
yeah,
I'm not sure, but
we'll figure it out.
Yeah, if we might take a break, might take lots of breaks, whatever.
But yeah, so yeah, it's been a crazy year for me too, and looking forward to another crazy year, and just thankful for a lot of things, and yeah, family, work, good beer, and the ability to enjoy it all and soak it in. So
all right,
are we officially thankful enough to drink this?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right,
we've jumped through all the hurdles to get to this beer. All right, cheers. Okay, what do you think so far?
So good.
Yeah, it's funny. Every time I drink this, I'm like, man, anybody could drink this. Mm-hmm. This is like, it's not too funky. It's not too weird. It's a nice blend of sweet, tart, and dry. You know, like hits you with a lot of that raspberry fruit, but not in an overly sweet way.
No, I totally agree. It's like a Venn diagram, but there's like 5 circles. There's like funk, sweet, sour, fruit, and dry, and this is like dead center of all those 5 circles.
Yeah, it's the balance. It's cohesive. That's our new favorite word. So I'll give you some fun facts about this beer.
Okay.
I've been reading tons of stuff about Jester King all week. Started to read a little bit more about this beer, and it's really interesting because they take a beer. So of course, Texas well water. That's what they start with. Some malt, a light malt base, and then some fresh hops, and then also some very aged hops.
Oh, interesting.
So that's what gives it a little bit of that like sort of funkiness and some like cheese to it. Yeah, just sort of an aged feel to it. So some fresh and some aged hops brings the IBU to about 10 to 15, and then boil that, and then they put that wort into barrels and they age it for about a year.
Okay.
And then they take that beer, put it into one of the big fooders, and then put a crap ton of raspberries in there, fresh raspberries. And they let it sit in there, but then they also they do like push downs, so they push the fruit down into the beer multiple times.
Okay.
Apparently leaving that fruit sitting on top of the beer because it's going to naturally float to the top. You have a layer up there that dries out, and that can breed it can make acetic acid, I guess, which is an off flavor in the beer. So they're constantly going in and pushing the fruit down into the beer, keep it wet, and then they pull that beer off the raspberries. And actually, with Atrial Rubicite, what they do is they take that beer off the raspberries. The raspberries are left in the foeder, and then they come behind that and they put another beer on top of those raspberries, and that becomes a beer called La Via and Rose.
Oh, interesting. So they get 2 uses out of the...
Yeah, so it's a beer. That one's a beer fermented on spent raspberries because a lot of the sugar and stuff is off of that. So it's a lot lighter, a lot drier beer than Atrial Rubicite, but same raspberries. But yeah, so, a lot of time goes into this beer. And the other interesting thing is that the beer that they use, the base beer they use for this, is not their best. They don't use their best barrels for this beer, right? Because they know which barrels in their barrel program produce the best tasting beer without adding anything to it. So a lot of those beers get bottled without anything added to them, or very minimal things added to them. But they know they're going to add a lot of raspberries to this beer. So it doesn't matter that it's necessarily the best beer. And in fact, they'll take a beer that's maybe not as acidic or tart, because they know they're gonna add a lot of acidity and tartness with the raspberries. So anyway, kind of interesting. Some fun facts about Atrial Rubicite.
That is interesting. Yeah, I didn't realize they do like the 2 separate agings, and those are some. I guess I never really knew the details of the beer. I just knew it was a really good one.
Really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think like any good, especially alcoholic beverages, sometimes time is your best. One of the best features.
I do like it. Is funny because about what you said about how they don't have to use their best barrels because they know they're going to dump like a cubic ton of raspberries into it, which probably does cover up or give you a lot of leeway.
Yeah, there's a lot of room for error there, or at least a little bit.
A little room, yeah, a little extra room.
I'm sure they're making good beer still, but as the base beer. But yeah, and then of course for the final product of Atrial Rubicite, they're also blending multiple different barrels of, I think, different ages of Atrial Rubicite. So a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of expertise goes into making this final product. So to pay $25 for a bottle, I'll do it every year.
It is good. Your proximity to Jester King is very nice.
Yeah, I think if I had to pick one brewery that sort of like I'm very, very happy to be as close as I am to it, it's that one. I mean, Pint House is kind of a close second because they continuously pump out some really, really good beers. And I was able to get some Jaguar Shark. And
did you try it yet?
Shark. I haven't tried it yet. Nope.
You gotta drink it on the podcast.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
Okay.
That's another one I keep opening the fridge and being like, I have to save this for some good content.
Content. It's all content. Well,
what do you?
I have a fun story.
What are you tasting in this first?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I don't know if we even talked too much about. Well, we talked a little bit about how it tastes, but anything else to add?
What's really impressive to me is there's the flavor is bookended by the tartness. There's almost like a lemon lime on the entrance, and then it comes back at the end too, like in the finish, which is really cool. Usually beers are really like sour in the beginning, or sometimes they have like a sour aftertaste, but I think it's kind of rare that it bookends the flavors, because it almost goes away. Like it's sour. Yeah. And then it kind of cascades through like the sweet raspberry and some of the other flavors, and then all of a sudden the sourness like creeps back in. It's wild.
Yeah. It leaves you with almost like a pink lemonade kind of aftertaste. Like a raspberry 100%. Lemonade. Yep.
And there's something about that like just goes perfectly into the next sip. It's like each sip is priming itself for the next one.
Okay, tell us your story.
Okay, so Steven has alerted me to this business that's in my local proximity that somehow has a ridiculous beer selection.
Insane.
So I followed them on Instagram, and yesterday they put a picture of 2 beers that I've long wanted to try. Heady Topper and Focal Banger, right? Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Heady Topper is what I wanted to try the most, but I've also heard great things about Focal Banger. So I was like, oh, I have to go. So I got up super early this morning, and on the way to work, I drove there like an idiot. I didn't check when they opened. So I drove past, and they were closed. So I was like, dang it. I have to go to work. I have to work the whole day. It's going to be gone. Like, they even said on their Instagram post, like, this will not last long.
Yeah.
So I worked, and I had to work kind of late a little bit, and then I was like, okay, I tell my wife, like, I'm going to be late. I have to stop on the way home. I'll bring you something, like, trade a deal with her, because I was already running late, but I was like, I have to go today, because, like, it's going to be gone, right?
Yeah.
So I went on the way home, and the stars aligned. There was, like, a spot right in front, and I walked in, and I was, like, pretty underwhelmed with the establishment. It's literally just like a AM PM, like a quick stop.
Yeah.
So they just have like chips and soda and cigarettes, but then like to one side they had this beer fridge. It's like maybe 4 doors of beers, and it was just like insane selection. I gotta go back. I just was already running really late, so I just said there was actually a guy there kind of like, can I help you? And I was like, oh, this is good service. So like, it's this incredible craft beer experience, like in the middle of this like very run-of-the-mill AM, like, Quick Mart. And I was like, oh, do you guys still have Heady Topper? He's like, oh, we still do, but it's, it's going fast. And so I was like, oh my gosh. So I just saw that it's like, right, it was dead center in the fridge, grabbed a 4-pack of that, grabbed a 4-pack Vocal Banger, ran to the car, put them in the trunk, started driving home. And I was like, I can't believe it. I like finally got this beer. I've wanted this for like 3 years. Then I was like, oh, I wonder if they're like really old. Like I'm trying like running through all these like doomsday scenarios of like how
were they able to even get this? Like,
yeah, one, how did they get it? We're not in that distribution network at all. Like I know you can get it in a lot of states, but you cannot get it where I live. And then I don't know, I was like, there's something off about it or something. I don't know. And then I got home and I went to put it in the fridge and I flipped it over for the can date and it's canned like 9 days ago. So it's like not only is it the real deal, but it got here like pretty much as fast as it could possibly get here. Like they must have shipped it directly to the store. So I don't know what their hookup is. Maybe I'm going to reach out to them on Instagram and see if I'll pick their brain a little bit. Like, how are you getting this stuff? Because Steven, the very next row, I didn't investigate too much, but they had a bunch of stuff from Anchorage Brewing. So I needed to develop a relationship with whoever's stocking that beer fridge.
Yeah, I know they they tend to get their distribution out a little bit more. And they put a lot of stuff on Tabware.
Okay.
My like beer shop gets Anchorage and stuff, but yeah, still like they have a serious hookup at that little market. Like
so
because they posted Trillium beers a few weeks ago. So
yeah, and I didn't.
And those aren't coming out this way. So.
Yeah, so I'm gonna keep my eye on their Instagram, and when they have something good, I'm gonna swing by after work and grab it. So
that's awesome.
So I'm super excited. I don't know. I will definitely drink one on the podcast. I can't guarantee I won't drink one between now and when we record. I want to drink one tonight. I'm so excited.
Seriously.
But yeah, so that was really exciting. So I might have a good hookup. So this is probably the first time on the podcast. It's a podcast exclusive where Steven's actually jealous of me for once. Because usually he's getting all these insane beers, and I'm like, because his coworkers are hooking him up. But today is the day I got two insane
you got
beers.
Me.
Yep.
Yeah, so, when you bringing those to me.
I was gonna say if you or your family is coming out, I will definitely save a couple for you.
Yeah, I like follow their Instagram very closely, and I'm always jealous.
Yeah, I think I posted I screen capped the Instagram post and I sent it to Steven with
yeah.
A WTF, I think.
Yeah. Look what I get to.
And he's like, you have to go. And I'm like, I'm at work.
Go now. You're not feeling good. Bye.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. It was funny. I actually caught a news segment, or it was like an article, and then there was a little video, and it was an interview with the guy, like the owner.
Okay.
And I thought for sure they were going to talk about like the craft beer selection and stuff, and all they talked about was just owning a little kind of mom and pop shop, basically, in the face of sort of all the economic changes and especially just a lot of big stores getting a lot of small stores going out of business because of bigger box stores and stuff, and how he was able to like kind of compete in that market, but no mention of craft beer.
That's interesting.
I was like, seems like his thing.
It's definitely smart. Like he must be really keyed. I would love to talk to him because I think he's really tuned in, if not a huge craft beer nerd himself. But it is something to give you an edge because, like I said, it's a non-assuming store. There's nothing different about it than like 7-Eleven or AM/PM, except for the fact they have incredible beer. So yeah, definitely a competitive edge for your store, because I'm sure they get all the regular traffic, and then they get like weird nerds like me who rush in after work and excitedly buy craft beer.
Yeah, I mean, not a lot of like corner stores have their own Instagram page either, so it's a little bit of a cult thing, for that area.
Yeah,
well, I'll look forward to
being
hearing
a repeat customer. Yeah, I kind of look at their Instagram how I check Tavor. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, what do they have today?
Yeah, every day check in.
Yeah, so they know what they're doing. They definitely know what they're doing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing having you taste that on the podcast. So.
Yeah, we might have to do a head-to-head. I may or may not also have a Pliny. Maybe we'll do a showdown.
Dun dun dun. That's like my pseudo citriquential showdown.
Yeah.
See if it can
the only way to
topple
really
the
know.
Beast.
It's the only way to really know which one is the best. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, we'll figure out the next day we record. I can't work the next day if I'm going to drink both of those.
Makes sense. All right.
Cool. Well, another successful Thanksgiving toast.
Yeah, you cooking a turkey tomorrow?
I'm not.
Who's
I'm eating a
cooking
turkey, but I'm not. I'm not on. We're on cookie duty. We don't have to cook the turkey.
Cookie duty. Okay. Your dad cooked the turkey?
Yeah, we're getting off easy. Going to the old man's house.
I am the old man now. I have to cook now.
You got to cook the turkey tomorrow?
Yeah, but I enjoy it actually. Yep. Spatchcocked it actually. You ever heard of spatchcock?
Wait, explain it to me again. I think I know, but
you like cut the backbone out.
Okay.
And then you like flatten it. You like push on the breastbone and flatten it into like you're also called butterfly.
Okay.
And it just like pushes all out so that so it's all one level. So you're cooking, it cooks more evenly that way.
Oh, nice.
And faster. So.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
So if you're in a rush and you don't want to dry your turkey out for 4 hours in the oven, you want a moist turkey. I know people like that word. Spatchcock your turkey. That's my Thanksgiving tip this year.
All right. Good tip. Well, maybe if I cook a turkey next year, I'll try that. Either that or I'm going to deep fry it in the driveway.
That's another good plan.
Way to cook it fast. Yeah.
I just don't want to die, so I don't do it that way. All right.
All right, sir. Cheers.
Cheers. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Attenuation, a Beer Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and follow us on Instagram or Facebook for more fun content. Catch you next week. Cheers!